Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to PA Street Team. For those of you that are new here, my name is Derek. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and also that notification bell so you can keep up with my latest content. Also, make sure you're checking out the PA Street Team merch available at the link below. And let's get started with today's video. So it is a beautiful, breezy Saturday here in Lemoyne. We've been having really crappy weather the last probably about a week. It's been rainy and cold and gross, so today was a beautiful day to get out and take care of some projects. It's about 70-ish degrees, so t-shirt weather, and I wanted to get some projects done on the R32, just some small stuff I've been putting off. Before we do that, I wanted to talk about something kind of crappy that happened this week. For those of you that follow me on my Instagram, at PA Street Scene, you know that my car was vandalized this week. I've been saying it's been keyed, but I can't tell if it was actually done with a key or not, because luckily whoever did it didn't press very hard or wasn't using a very sharp implement, and did it all over the hood and the front fenders on the tops. So I'm going to turn you around. It's kind of hard to see because the sun keeps going behind the clouds, but if you look right here, let me see if I can get it in. There you go. Now we're getting a little bit of sun. You can see this scratch right here. Goes the whole way up, and then we have these circular scratches covering a huge section of the hood. I know it's really hard to see right there. I'm kind of hoping the sun comes back out. Then scratches along the front of the hood, one here, and then one here. And we'll talk about this bodywork in a second. But there's also a deeper scratch that goes up along here. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's really hard when the sun is behind the clouds, but you can kind of see right there. And then on the other side, let me just see if I can get it focused in here. You can kind of see another swirl here. And then I don't know what's going on here. There's these little abrasion marks. I almost feel like it was from them leaning over the car or something, maybe if they were wearing jeans with studs or something. So yeah, none of it seems to be lower or deeper than the clear coat, thankfully. So my friend Sean with Driven to Compete reached out after I posted about it and said that he's going to help me buff it out. So that's a plan for next week. I apologize for the sawing in the background. We're right next to a construction site. But yeah, Sean with Driven to Compete is going to help me wet sand the hood and buff it out to try to get rid of those scratches. And hopefully by then I'll be able to put it back in the storage unit. I have been fighting with the PT Cruiser again. I actually just got done posting on my Instagram that still having issues with the glitter on it. And honestly, at this point, I'm just done. I'm going to drive it as it is, drive it till it blows. And if by some miracle I decide to keep it longer than I anticipated, I'll probably just chip it off and try something new. But we're not here to talk about the PT Cruiser, we're here to talk about the R. Hopefully after Sean does the wet sanding and the buffing, I can put it back in the garage and then I won't have to worry about vandalism anymore. It's just something that I've never really had to deal with the cars in front of our place. We do live along the main drag in our town. The PT Cruiser, when we first moved in, was egged one time, but I just chalked that up to kids being stupid. This time it does feel a little bit more targeted because I was the only car that got it. Luckily they didn't get our other car because it's brand new and that would have sucked, but still annoying. But we're going to keep pushing forward and move along and get the car ready, and hopefully once all this coronavirus crap clears out and things go back to normal and I can start making money again, that, you know, at the levels that I'm used to, then we can start getting ready for the wrap. So today what we're going to work on first, you did see that I got some body work done on the hood. There was some gouging here that I noticed after we peeled the wrap, most likely from the install of these hood pins. Not a big deal, but I was having somebody do the hood notch on this car to just kind of smooth it out a bit, and they offered to take care of those as well. So right now I'm going to let this touch-up paint that I had custom made, it's a custom automotive color match spray paint. There's a local company here called BAPS that does custom colors. So this is Black Magic Pearl Volkswagen's specification. So I'll be using that to cover up this area and then cover up this area. It is a single stage paint, but if we're going to be wet sanding and buffing the hood and stuff anyway, no better time than the present to do that, and then we can kind of take care of it all in one shot next weekend. So I'm going to let this paint warm up a little bit, because it does like to be at warmer temperatures when spraying it, and then we'll go ahead and spray the hood and move on to another project. Alright, so we got a few coats of paint on the hood. It's looking great. There is a bit of orange peel, but that's to be expected with spray cans. Like I said, we're going to be wet sanding and buffing the hood next week. So in the meantime, I think it looks great. Big shout out to Baps and Lemoyne for creating the color. The match is perfect. The metallic is just right. The pearlescent, I'm really happy with it. It was a little on the pricey side, but that's what you get for quality. So I'm going to turn you around so you can see it. Now it is still drying, but I think it looks incredible. Moving around here. I mean, for coming out of a rattle can, I'm pretty happy with how that looks. So I'm going to let that dry a bit. I might throw another coat on it. I'm not sure. It might be a bit overkill. You can definitely see how shiny this is compared to the rest of the hood. I think some of that will probably die down once it dries a bit more. Luckily, it's pretty warm out today and there's a good breeze. But yeah, pretty happy with how that turned out. So let's move on to the next project. Take you around to the back. And I think it's time that I finally focus on cleaning up the indent where the logo goes. Now this is a disaster, all of my own making. As you can see, there's some plasti up left on it. And then here is where the tape was holding the logo on, which I still have. I just have to find it. It's somewhere in my garage. But these lines are all super glue because the tape that I got, the 3M tape, for whatever reason wasn't holding, and I was in a hurry, so I decided to use super glue. And yeah, so this is what we're left with. I'm going to try to get a bunch of this off today. I was told that I could do it with acetone and it would be okay, so we'll see how it goes. And if worse comes to worse and it takes the paint off, well, at least I still have more in the spray can. So I'm going to get started with that. I'm going to wet it all down, let it soak for a little bit, and then start applying pressure to it, and hopefully it'll come off. Alright, so the acetone did not work. It was effective in getting the plasti up off around the logo. As you can see, that's all shiny again. But as far as this 3M tape mixed with super glue, it's definitely going to come up, but we need another approach. I had heard of plastic razor blades, so I think that'll be my next shot. If worse comes to worse, we might just have to sand it. It's not really the route that I want to go, but play dumb games, win dumb prizes. I shouldn't have super glued it to the car. Live and learn. But with that said, we only have one more project I want to handle today because I do want to enjoy some of the afternoon, just because the weather's so nice. And that is finally attempting to install these Recaro seats. I've been rocking the Jetta seats that I got down at the Bachman's U-Pull-It lot. And while they've served their purpose, they're just kind of meh. So I'm going to get these put on. I never really got around to cleaning up the brackets. That'll be a later project. But I at least want to get them in the car so I can sell the Jetta seats and kind of get them out of the house. Just have one set of seats. So luckily these are mounted on Mark IV brackets, as you can see down there. And they have the sliders, so they should just go in right where the OEM seats are. So I'm going to get started on that, and wish me luck. Alright guys, so we finished up the passenger side seat. Looks good. It's in there. It does need some new hardware. The hardware that's in it is working. I just want to update it because it's got a bit of corrosion issues. I want to make sure that we're getting the snuggest fit that we can. But yeah, for now, I like how it looks. It has the slots in it for racing harnesses, which will be going in down the road. It does have seat belt connectors mounted to it, so it can work with the OEM seatbelts in the meantime, so we're driving legally and safely. But with that said, let's start working on the driver's side. And with that, our projects for today are done. The R32 is looking great. We got a couple things checked off the bucket list. As you can see, the hood is painted around the hood notch and the hood pins. I think it looks great. Of course, it does need wet sanded and buffed. That's a project for hopefully next weekend with my buddy Sean from Driven to Compete. So that got taken care of. Really happy to have that done because the primer look just wasn't working for me. We also tackled the rear hatch of the car, and it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but it was a good learning experience. The acetone took the plastic dip off great, but this combination of like 3M and Gorilla Glue or Super Glue or whatever's on here, it's going to take something a little bit more hardcore, but that's fine. Future project, I can cover that up with the emblem. Finally, and most importantly, we got the Recaros in. I'm super stoked for this. I've been waiting to put these in for a while now. Just haven't had the time or the motivation, and they're finally in. I think they look great. Starting to make the interior look a little special again with the loss of the Koenig seats. It really was kind of blah with those Jetta seats in, and I'm really excited about these. They're great quality seats, and they have the spots where you can put the harnesses through, which is going to be great because I'm hoping to have a roll cage and some harnesses in here shortly. And yeah, we're just going to keep moving forward with projects, and hopefully once the coronavirus scare is over, all signs point to May 8th being the date when things start to go back to normal. Well, hello, plane. Sorry, ooh, look, a chicken. But yeah, they're saying that May 8th is the tentative date when they're going to start letting things get back to normal. So hopefully with that, if it all goes successfully, we'll start having car events again, meets and shows. And actually, I am excited to start trying to autocross with this car and doing other kinds of track days. I still want to do car shows and stuff, but they get a little monotonous after a while, and I want to try some new things. So lots of cool stuff coming up. We just need to be allowed to do it. But thank you guys so much for continuing to support my channel and dealing with me doing the weird videos. I am thinking about doing a couple more car paintings. I had a lot of fun doing Mike's ZR1, and Joel responded pretty well to it. So if you have a car that you'd like to see me paint, make sure to hit me up on Instagram at PA Street Scene. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, social distance, and I'll see you next time.